want to talk about a massive misconception that I noticed in our last Employment Tribunal support group, and it's to do with witness statements and witnesses and who is a witness in your own tribunal case. The way the support group works is people can register and can pre-submit a question, and we take all those questions, and because there's so many of them, we group them together into topics and get through as many as we can on the webinar, and people often post in the chat, they have conversations with each other to kind of riff off what we're saying. And we were talking about witness statements and then noticed that a ton of people in the chat were saying, oh, I don't have a witness, so why do I need to do a witness statement? And that made me realize people don't know that they are their own witness in their tribunal case and the most important witness in their tribunal case. See why this is confusing, because right, when you think about like the TV drama world, a witness is usually someone who witnessed something happening, but you yourself witnessed it happening as well, and your account of what happened to you is evidence. This is something I talk about all the time when I mention contemporaneous notes, which is literally writing down a note in the moment. So say you're in a meeting, you're writing down, afterwards or during the meeting what's being said, who was there, like all that kind of stuff. That's contemporaneous notes. That is your witness account of what happened, and you would put that kind of information into a witness statement. Now, an important caveat here, in Scotland, witness statements aren't as common. Often instead in Scotland, instead of writing it all up, you basically get someone to ask you questions so that you can give your account of what happened. It's roughly the same thing, it's just structured slightly differently. But the key thing here is that what you say happens is evidence. I literally was just talking to someone yesterday who said, oh, well, yeah, they said that, but I can't prove it. And I said, well, did you write it down? Because if you wrote it down, or if you write it down now, you can prove it. Like, the proof is even stronger if you wrote it down at the moment, which is why contemporaneous notes is so important. But if you wrote it down a week later, a month later, that's still evidence. That's still valuable. Just write it down as soon as you can. And that goes into evidence. So you can say, here in evidence bundle, here is my notes from that day. Here is the typed up account of what happened. Sometimes people send emails afterwards and say, here's what we discussed. That is all evidence, and you are a witness. If you're preparing a witness statement, if you're at that point in your journey, it's definitely worth checking out the webinar that we did about cross-examination, because the bundle, the evidence bundle, the witness statement, and cross-examination are all really important, and they all interlink together. And the webinar, the coach that I spoke to on that webinar did such a good job of explaining how you use the witness statement and the bundle to craft your cross-examination. Most important thing to know is that you are your own witness, you are the most important witness, and often you are the only witness for yourself in your tribunal case. And so when you look at witness statement, remember that it is you that is going to be writing at least that witness statement, even if you have another witness. You are the most important witness.